For today, guys, we're going to do the custom animation extravaganza. We have a hero already set up, guys, and we're just going to make 10 custom animations. So I kind of have all these like kind of pre-thought out, right? So this is going to be like an adventure game, right? This is our adventure hero. And we want him to, wake up and stretch in the morning. He's going to look around and scout. Maybe we're walking around. You got to pull out your map. So it does a cool pull-out map animation. Maybe there's some sneaking, so he has to sneak around. Maybe something comes out of a bush and startles him. Yeah, trip and recover balance. This one may be a little tricky, so we'll talk about this one. This climb up a ledge is going to be super, super tricky. And so we can dive into that. I just know from experience on some of this stuff. Bend over, catch your breath. Maybe that one's easy. Jump and celebrate. That one's probably easy. Great. So guys, I'm just going to hop into it. And I'm kind of going to go from the easiest way to do it. Like the way I like to do things is I just like it to be quick and easy. So a lot of times I'm just going to throw these in. They may not be like the best way to do it. And then we can kind of iterate from there. And things that are not working correctly, we'll just keep iterating on. And that's the way I like to use AutoSprite. And yeah, we'll just go for that. So I've already uploaded our characters, so we're kind of ready to go here. And basically to do a custom animation, you just click Add Custom here. And what I'm going to do is just start, especially for the presentation, so we can just kind of get some of these along. I'm just going to start like kicking some off, right? So luckily we can just come here and do this. So wake up and stretch. So I just named the animation Wake Up and Stretch, and a lot of times we're just going to let AutoSprite handle it. For this particular one, I'm actually going to try to loop this one. So I'm going to say poses, and I actually kind of want him in his default pose. I think this looks really cool. We're going to loop it. So the very first frame and the very last frame will be the same. And then literally I'll say like wake up and stretch. Well, I'll just say like stretches and puts hands high above head. So guys, we're going to just use like the default settings here. I'm going to go max frames and max resolution because it looks a little better in these demos. And then we'll just stick to turbo. I think that's going to be fine for us for now. We're definitely going to play with this later when if things don't work out too much. But let's kick this off. And like I said, I'll just kind of go one at a time here just so we can kind of kick things off and get them going. So let's just kind of blast through a few of these guys. So looks around and scouts the area. Okay, well, literally we have the name as that. We let AutoSprite handle it. Looks around, scouts the area. So we'll get one more kind of baked in here. I like this one. Pull out a map and look at it. So in my head, we can actually pick the frames ourselves again. I kind of always like this pose. I think this will be a good one. Maybe we can end on this too. And he's going to actually pull out a map from his pocket, from his bag, and looks at it. And then, since the last frame is the first frame here, guys, he's going to like put it back in there, right? So pull it and for a second, and then puts it back. Now, this particular one, it seems like it's going to need a little longer animation. So I'll probably go for 4 seconds on this one. So we have 2 ready to go. So on these particular 2 guys, I'm going to go for Pro. Let's go for Pro 4 seconds on these. So I'm going to kick these off as well. Okay, and we'll just kind of keep going here. So sneak forward cautiously. So I'm actually going to open a new tab here. So yeah, I think AutoSprite can probably handle this one. We'll just kind of do this by default. We'll go turbo 2 seconds, just kick that off. So let's just start with these first 6 guys because it's getting a little overwhelming. And then we'll just kind of see what our results are on these. So get startled and jump backwards, and then trip and recover balance. So I bet AutoSprite can maybe do okay at these. So let's go for these two. And yeah, guys, I really like the AutoSprite, let AutoSprite handle it. It's kind of, in the name. It's called AutoSprite. So the ultimate goal of this platform is just to make things as easy, as simple as possible. You're supposed to just type in the least amount of things. Currently, we do have the advanced tools to do your custom first frame and all this stuff to get it exactly as you like. So we have all those tools for like the advanced users. But I think a lot of our users, and people in general, you just want it to work first time, right? So that is the ultimate goal. I feel like we are getting closer and closer. And the app is kind of built around that too, right? So you just kind of kick it off. You kind of go with generative AI. It's really hard to, it's kind of meant to have some redos and stuff. That's why a lot of the plans, they have a lot of free redos. So yeah, just kind of telling you where my head's at on this stuff. So we'll kick these off. I'm going to just refresh here and see if we're getting close to finishing. Yeah. So at least the one is finished. So we'll go ahead and look at it. So this one did okay. So the problem with this one is I did not give him enough padding. And so actually on this one, we're going to redo. We're going to go to the advanced. So see, it tries to follow the prompt. Stretches and puts hands high above his head. However, I think there's not enough room for him to do that, and maybe not enough time. So the way we can get more room is we can just add padding here. You can also just click this edit here, and we can actually drag him around to get a little more room and not lose the resolution. So I'm going to turn him down just a bit here. So we're going to use this as first and last frame. So I think I can do this, and then I can say looping. So now we're going to use this frame as the first and last frame. And let's just try the same animation again, right? So we'll kick that off. And I'm going to refresh this other tab here so we can kind of keep things moving forward. Great, a few more are done, so let's take a look. Okay, so this one's still processing, that's good. This one's okay. Yeah, we can almost use this as the starting of our sneaking stuff. So there we go. I think this one looks really great. He didn't pull it out from the bag, so we can work on that. That's a cool one though. And actually, I like this one, but I want to make the map more of an old school leather map. You know what I mean? Instead of this paper. I don't know what that's called, like parchment or something, right? So let's change the map to be brown leather map instead of paper. Let's just try that out, guys. So see, we're kind of using all our tools to really refine and kind of get it locked into how we want it. And notice I just kind of kicked off the simple way to do it to get us a good starting point. And then we kind of go from there. So we'll let that go. A little bit slow today on these. We'll wait a bit longer on that. Get startled and jump backwards. So this is okay. Let's say a snake is coming. And he kind of startled. So actually, I kind of like it. I kind of see what I like here is we can actually change the frame. So he's kind of like that, right? And a lot of times, you have to just kind of imagine it. So in your video game, Like, he's not jumping backwards here, right? He's like doing a perfect jump in the air. However, like in your video game, it's hard to kind of replicate here, but you would basically make him get startled like a snake is coming by, and you would actually move him in your game engine backwards, right? So actually maybe it doesn't look like it's kind of moving backwards here, but in actuality, if you take this sprite sheet, go in your game engine and kind of make him move backwards as he jumps, it'll actually be pretty good. So we're going to give a check mark to that one. There we go. I think this one just worked off of the bat. So we trip and recover. Good one. So maybe he's walking, so we can even like simulate this. I don't have the walk animation, so I should definitely do that too. But he's walking, and like he's going to trip over this boulder, Whoa, see? He bumps into it. Kind of simulate it there in our little demo game. So that one's pretty good. This one's still processing. Yeah, I think this one can be pretty good. So he's just looking around and scouting the area. However, let's gonna redo this one. I want it to be slightly different. I feel like this one could be used in our game, but maybe we can have different versions and things too. So let's do an advanced redo on this. And for this, actually, guys, I'm going to go with a higher time for 4 seconds with Pro. And we're going to make sure this is a looping animation. So it'll be this frame is the first and last frame. And then we're going to say, looking around in the distance, and puts his hands on his forehead to block the sun. So that's him kind of like scouting, kind of like looking, and then kind of going back to his original pose. So I think that would be pretty cool. And this is a good thing to show off too, that you never lose anything in AutoSprite. So you made that first animation, you're like, okay, that's doable. I think we can do a little better. If this doesn't kick off and I'm spending too much credits, I'm happy to go back to the other one. So I'll kind of show where the version lives for this particular thing. We can go from there. So guys, I think we have 3 animations in flight. So I'm going to kick back to these while we wait, because these can take 60 seconds to a minute. So there we go. I think this is doing a little better. We can probably make it a little better. So, pretend we really want this one to be good, right? So I think we should really step up to like Ultra. And let's just try the exact same thing again here, one more time. There we go. So this was kind of funny. He throws it on the ground. Yep. So maybe on our map one, we'll actually stick to the first, unless we want to keep iterating and going from there. And just another way on this map, guys, I just want to show you guys. So we can actually go to the character tab. And a lot of times, if we really get a really good first frame and last frame, then it's going to like save us a lot of headache. And I find it, you can actually get your frames here. So let's see, he like is looking at, and this may be a good time to do the storyboard actually. So let's try this out. So I just did a prompt making a brand new pose, and he's like looking at a leather map. So let's get that going. So there we go. So I think I'm really going to like this map a lot more. So let's actually make one more animation with looking at the map. We're just going to start it from scratch. This time we're going to do storyboard. So we'll say looking at map V2. So we're going to pick the frames ourselves. So that middle frame will actually be him looking at the map. So we'll put it here. The first frame will be this cool pose we had here. And the last frame will be like the loop, basically. So now as you can see, he's going to be in this first frame, and then he's looking at the map, in the map that we actually like, in the direction we like and all that. And then he's going to be in this cool frame again. So time 0 to 2, we'll just say pulls out map and looks at it. And then he puts the map away. I'm going to turn off the sound for now, but just know you can always mess with the sound. And yeah, let's go for there. So we'll generate this one. Okay. Yeah, I'm not in love with this one. That's really funny why I did that. So our wake up and stretch is definitely having issues here. I feel like the second one's passable, so maybe we could use that for now and iterate on that one later. So yep, so that one's a little better. Like we said, the first one we like a lot too, but we could actually have like 2 in our game maybe. So sometimes when he looks around on his idle animation, he just does this. Sometimes when he looks around, he does this. I think that's kind of cool. Okay, so we're making our new ones. We have that. Sneak around. So great, guys. I think, yeah, let's check out this. Yeah, this is our other look around. So yeah, guys, I think you guys kind of get the idea. I do want to show off one other thing on like just making it happen and getting really quick. Look at it. So guys, this is the AutoSprite Studio. So it's, I don't really have it linked anywhere in the app. It's kind of off the grid, but it's kind of like the future of things to come, I think. Because what we just did there, we have to think about it. We have to figure out all the frames. We have to do all this stuff. For this, we can just type what we want, and an LLM kind of takes over and interacts with AutoSprite behind the scenes, and then it creates it. So it's still kind of in beta, but if anyone needs access to this, just let me know. Happy to let you guys test it out. So first, like you just talk to it like an LLM, like let's make an adventure with a blue cape. And there we go. So you can kind of see this is kind of like your normal LLM kind of thing. And then, he kind of puts you forward. Do you want to do walk all this? Well, we kind of know exactly what we want. So we're going to do these 6 animations just in the studio. So I want him to have 6 animations, wake up and stretch. Sneak around. Startle, jump backwards, trip. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Approve and continue. So there we go. So again, like we can kind of do it manually like we did, but I think eventually I do want this to be more of the default flow where you don't have to think too hard. It comes up with all the prompts. It just kind of generates as it goes. And yeah, Bob, so that's a really good question. This one, you can actually tell it to do turbo, ultra, whatever you want. So it's like literally the exact same thing as the web app, except there's kind of an LLM in the loop and he kind of helps you out. To me, it goes like a lot faster, and I'm like really into this. It's not, it is public where I can give you the link and you can access it, but I don't have it like in our header, like advertised kind of thing. Because I'm still getting testing on this and just making sure this kind of like suits all our needs. So guys, that's great. So as you know, like when you refresh the app, your studio is back in your app again. So again, it's kind of like the same you can kind of do all the same workflow and stuff eventually. And you can kind of see what the LLM wrote for the prompts and stuff. But yeah, let's get back to it. So we're basically gonna have like a show off, right? So this is like what the human did versus what the LLM did, right? So we'll let this guy finish, and then very, very curious. So just to kind of recap, because I want to leave some time for you. I already went over a little more. Nice, Bob. Yeah, Bob. Please use it and give me feedback, and yeah, let me know if it works out for you pretty good. So yeah, just to recap, guys, we kind of just really blasted through some initial animations. This is not the super production way to do certain things, but I think it gets us most of the way there. It gets us like 80% of the way there, right? Wake up and stretch is going to need more work. Maybe this one we would go in the advanced and keep working on the wake up and stretch. We have two versions of the Scout. We kind of like this. This is good. We have another version of this was the one that was kind of failing on our map. So we have our V2, which is our storyboard. And as you notice, the storyboard here was much more consistent. So that was really good. We talked about the get startled and jump backwards. So this one seems to be working. Trip and recover, this is pretty much perfect. And the sneaking around is pretty good too. So as you can see, like very, very quickly, we didn't put much thought into things. Our prompts were not that detailed. They were not that long. We kind of blasted through. I'm very curious how many credits I used. So I can kind of go back and kind of look at that. But I have a feeling I'll use like maybe 100 or 200 credits, you know? Yeah. But that's pretty much all I got, guys. We're going to let this finish. We'll go back to the studio. So here we go. So the studio finished, guys. So sneaking forward, you know, it's questionable if ours is better than this one. Pull out the map. You know, could use some work here as well. Startled looks pretty good. Look around, I think looks pretty good. It's great. And hey, look, it got our stretch perfect. So that's really good. And this one, yeah, the trip and recover, we have to work on that too. And here's the cool thing about the studio. You can say, the trip and recover is not good. Do it again on Ultra. And there we go, guys. It just kicks it off and goes. So guys, that's pretty much all I have for this presentation here. We'll kind of let this go and see that. But otherwise, guys, thanks for being here. If anyone wants to talk shop or has some other suggestions or questions or wants me to go over anything in the app, just please let me know. Happy to stay longer here and just kind of go over it. But overall, thank you all very much.